Have you ever felt the suffocating weight of emotional attachment, trapped in a cycle that seems impossible to break free from? It's a struggle many of us face, one that can leave us feeling stuck and powerless. But here's the good news. Change isn't just possible, it's well within your reach. Drawing wisdom from the ancient Stoic philosophers like Marcus Aurelius and Seneca, we're about to unlock the powerful principles of Stoicism that can help you master the art of emotional detachment and break free from the chains that bind you. In this transformative video, we'll explore timeless Stoic teachings that will guide you on a journey to emotional freedom. By applying these profound strategies, you'll discover practical ways to detach from people or situations that weigh heavily on your mind. Say goodbye to the mental shackles of attachment, and say hello to clarity, peace, and a sharper focus on what truly matters in your life. If you're ready to embrace personal growth and break free from the grip of emotional attachment, this video is for you. Let's begin. Number 1. The power of detachment. Let's begin with the power of detachment. Why is detachment so important? Think about this for a moment. When we hold on too tightly to people or situations, they start to control us. It's like giving someone else the remote to your emotions, letting them switch the channels of your mood at will. Their influence can dictate your happiness, your sadness, and in the worst cases, it can drive you to make decisions that you may later regret. Detachment is not about cutting off or not caring. It's about assigning the right weight to things that are outside of your control. Imagine your emotions are like a kite. It may sound odd, but bear with me. Every string attached to someone or something represents a potential direction your emotions can be pulled. If you're holding on to too many strings, or worse, gripping one too tightly, you're at the mercy of the wind. You'll be tossed in whatever direction it blows. Stoicism teaches us to loosen our grip, to understand that while we can't control the wind, we do have control over which strings we choose to hold. This doesn't make you cold or indifferent. It makes you grounded and resilient. The first step is to recognize what or who you are overly attached to. Then ask yourself, why do I feel this attachment? Are you seeking validation? Are you afraid of loneliness? Or is there something deeper at play? Understanding the root of your attachment is essential in starting to loosen its grip on you. To make this practical, begin by engaging in activities that bring you a sense of purpose and fulfillment. Focus on things that make you feel whole on your own, without relying on others to define your happiness. Detachment, at its core, is what sets you free from the emotional weights that hold you back. Number 2. Understanding attachment. To begin understanding attachment, it's crucial to realize that when you're attached to something, you're often operating from your ego. Let's strip things back to basics. At our core, we are creatures of love. Think about a newborn baby radiating pure joy, untouched by the complexities of ego. However, as we age, our ego begins to take the driver's seat, cluttering our lives with attachments. These attachments, whether to people, ideals, or outcomes, cloud our judgment and distract us from our true essence, which is love. Remember, attachment is a game of the ego, and the ego is the very antithesis of love and self-contentment. When we step back and view our desires and connections through this lens, we begin to realize how unnecessary the weight they add to our lives can be. Now, envision a life lived from a place of love, not ego. Imagine the freedom of not clinging desperately to outcomes, people, or status. Living from love allows you to trust in abundance, the belief that what is meant for you will always find its way. This is not wishful thinking. It's a deep-seated belief in your personal value and capabilities. It empowers you to let go and recognize that attachments are simply anchors that limit the vast ocean you're meant to explore. So, how do we begin untangling ourselves from these anchors? Start by acknowledging the attachment and seeing it for what it is, a product of your ego seeking security and validation. Next, shift your perspective and understand that your worth isn't tied to this attachment. Your essence, your true core, is enough. This understanding doesn't happen overnight. It's a deliberate practice, a conscious choice to prioritize your inner peace over external validation. Finally, embrace the concept of abundance. When you let go of the fear of loss, the universe has a way of rewarding you with more than what you let go. Detachment doesn't mean you care less. It means you understand better. It means staying true to your essence and letting love guide you, rather than fear. The journey toward detachment is transformative. It's about shedding the layers of ego to uncover the resilient, love-filled soul beneath. It's about moving forward with lightness, free from the burdens of attachment, ready to welcome new blessings with open arms and a steadfast heart. Number 3. The illusion of the ego. Sometimes our ego tricks us into believing that we're not good enough or that someone else's life is better than ours, that their grass is greener. This illusion creates a trap, leading us to emotionally cling to others in search of validation. We begin to idolize individuals, placing them on pedestals as if they possess something unattainable. But when we strip everything down to our essence, especially in life's most critical moments, we realize that no one holds a special ticket. We're all equally vulnerable, equally human. It's essential then to confront this illusion head-on, to see it for the mirage that it is, and not let it distort our perception of ourselves or others. Let's talk about self-confidence and inner healing for a moment. It's completely okay to remind yourself that you're amazing, special, and unique. Affirming your self-worth is a healthy practice for building self-esteem and nurturing your inner child. However, embracing this mindset doesn't mean viewing others as less than, nor does it mean separating yourself from the collective human experience. Instead, it's about recognizing that while each of us has our unique path, no path is inherently superior to another. We are all part of a larger tapestry, each of our stories as significant as the next. Now, when it comes to detachment, particularly in relationships, it's easy to fall into the trap of the lack mindset, the fear that losing someone means losing something irreplaceable. This thought pattern is a direct offspring of our ego, whispering lies of scarcity and limitation. But here's the truth. Enforcing emotional detachment is not about denying your feelings or becoming indifferent. It's about embracing the abundance of the universe and understanding our inherent capacity for love. It's acknowledging that while someone may be special to us, our completeness does not rely on their presence. This realization frees us from fear-based attachment, allowing us to love freely without clinging desperately to the other person. It's an empowering shift that liberates us to experience love as it should be, unconditional and expansive. Finally, aligning with Stoic philosophy, it's invaluable to practice seeing every individual, including ourselves, through the lens of equality. Everyone we meet, everyone we may lose, plays a role in our journey, just as we play a role in theirs. But no one role is indispensable. By internalizing this truth, we cultivate emotional strength that prepares us to face life's uncertainties with grace. The Stoics taught us the importance of focusing on what we can control, our perceptions, our actions, and our will. By applying this wisdom to relationships and detachment, we find a path to genuine peace and resilience. We shed the illusions cast by our ego and embrace the liberating truth of our shared humanity. Number 4. Detachment in practice. The thing is, you have to be willing to let go of past experiences. You have to be willing to let go of past relationships. It's like holding onto a rope so tightly that your hands begin to hurt, but you're scared to let go because you don't know what will happen if you do. Let me tell you, letting go doesn't mean you'll fall. Sometimes it means you can finally stretch your hands, reach out, and grab something even better. I learned this the hard way when I held on to a comfortable relationship because it felt safe. I didn't realize that in doing so, I was shutting doors to the potential happiness that was knocking on my door. Here's another truth bomb. The fear of missing out, FOMO, is a trap. It's like watching everyone else's highlight reel on social media while you think you're missing out on life. But here's the reality. It's not real life. What you see is a curated, filtered snapshot meant to showcase a perfect moment. Once I stopped scrolling through everyone else's stories and began living my own, FOMO lost its grip on me. Not knowing every detail of someone else's life doesn't mean you're missing out. It means you're fully present in your own life, making memorable moments that belong to you and you alone. Attachment to a false image of happiness can make letting go feel impossible. You see others living what seems to be their best life and fear that you're falling behind, that you might never have what they have. But remember, the grass only looks greener from a distance. Up close, you'll see it has its share of brown patches too. Creating an illusion of perfection in someone else's life only steals the joy from your own. It's like running on a treadmill trying to catch up to a hologram. No matter how fast you go, you'll never reach it because it's not real. Detachment isn't about giving up happiness. It's about defining it on your own terms. To emotionally detach, focus on the Stoic principle of controlling what's within your reach, your thoughts, your actions, and your growth. It's empowering to realize that no one's opinion, no past relationship, and not even a shiny filtered life on social media has the power to define your worth or your happiness. This realization becomes your armor. It allows you to move forward unburdened by unnecessary attachments, free to experience life in all its unpredictable glory, and open to the genuine, fulfilling connections that are waiting just around the corner. Remember, letting go isn't an end. It's a bold step toward the life you truly deserve. Number 5. The path to happiness. Where does true value come from? It's a question that, when answered, can pivot us away from unnecessary attachments and toward a state of emotional freedom. This concept is crucial when detaching from someone, something deeply ingrained in the principles of Stoicism. It's not about severing ties with malice or indifference, but about recognizing that the most profound form of companionship you'll ever possess is the one you have with yourself. True value, as it turns out, stems from within, your character, your wisdom, and how you treat others. It's easy to think that happiness is locked in someone else's presence, that our worth rises with their approval or falls with their neglect. However, this mindset chains us, reducing our vast potential to the whims of another. It's like a bird believing it needs permission to fly. We limit our emotional skies. Imagine instead realizing that the sky has always been open, waiting for you to spread your wings on your own terms. This self-reliance is liberating. It teaches us that our value does not fluctuate with others' opinions or presence. Detachment, therefore, isn't an act of pushing someone away. It's drawing ourselves closer to our essence. By focusing on personal growth, on becoming the best versions of ourselves, we unshackle from the heavy weight of neediness. It's akin to nurturing a garden. You wouldn't plead for a single flower to grow. You tend to the soil, water the plants, and trust in the natural process. In focusing on self-improvement, we cultivate a garden that blooms regardless of who chooses to walk through it or admire its beauty. This nurturing becomes a source of happiness that's independent, resilient, and profoundly rewarding. So how do we tread this path of emotional detachment? It starts with the understanding that you are complete, with or without someone's affirmation. Your journey is about discovering the expanses of your own sky, learning to love the freedom that comes from flying solo when necessary. Embrace Stoicism's wisdom. Focus on what's within your control, your thoughts, your actions, and your growth. This doesn't mean closing your heart or turning a blind eye to love and connection. It means securing your emotional anchor in the steady ground of your being. Remember, your self-worth isn't a puzzle missing someone else's piece. It's a masterpiece in progress, complete as is, yet open to adding more beauty from the world around you. Number 6. The freedom of emotional independence. Emotional independence is one of the most liberating concepts in Stoicism, and it's the key to living a life free from unnecessary emotional baggage. The truth is, when we rely too heavily on others for our happiness or sense of worth, we give up our power. It's like handing over the keys to someone else, letting them control how we feel. But emotional independence is about taking those keys back. Think of your emotions as a garden, and your happiness as the flowers growing within it. You wouldn't wait for someone else to water your garden every day, right? You wouldn't leave it in their hands to determine how your plants thrive. Similarly, you should never let others determine your emotional state or happiness. Instead, focus on cultivating your inner peace and emotional resilience from within. The Stoic philosophers, especially Marcus Aurelius, often spoke about the importance of self-sufficiency. It's not about shutting others out or becoming emotionally cold, but about knowing that your emotional well-being is primarily within your control. When we accept that we don't need someone else's validation or presence to feel whole, we free ourselves from the chains of dependence. Emotional independence allows you to build healthy, fulfilling relationships where you aren't seeking validation or approval. Instead, you're able to offer love and support freely, without clinging to the expectation of something in return. It's like a tree that stands tall and strong, not leaning on anyone else, but providing shade and shelter for those who need it. Start by recognizing the difference between healthy interdependence and emotional dependence. Are you relying on others for your happiness, or are you standing firm in your emotional foundation? Begin cultivating your emotional strength by focusing on self-awareness and emotional regulation. Practice mindfulness and learn to detach from fleeting emotions. The more you practice, the more you'll grow into an emotionally independent person, able to navigate the ups and downs of life with grace. This doesn't mean shutting out people who care about you or avoiding love and connection. It means being emotionally stable enough to thrive on your own. When you embrace emotional independence, You reclaim your power, create healthier relationships, and gain the freedom to navigate life with confidence and peace. Thank you for tuning in. I hope this video brought some valuable insights into your day. If this resonated with you or sparked a thought, make sure to hit that like button. If not, that's okay too. Your perspective is always valued here. For those eager to dive deeper into the journey of personal growth, go visit our channel. Finally, do you have any thoughts on emotional detachment or insights from your own experiences? We'd love to hear from you in the comments, and do subscribe to our channel. Plus, if you know someone who could benefit from today's topic, feel free to share this video with them. Until next time, let's spread the wisdom and support each other.